Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk about respect in the detailing industry. Not necessarily with other detailers, but with your customers. Why? Because this really might be messing with your cash flow. This really might be costing you money. You might be like, Dylan, where's this coming from? What do you mean? I mean, when it comes to pricing our services. No, this video isn't necessarily about how to price your services. That might be next week. This is more of before you price your services. This is while you're in the process of making them, or literally like right after, or it might be now. You may not have been a beginner for years at this point, and it could still be harming you. So with creating our own businesses, it can be a little difficult to kind of hold yourselves to a certain standard. Like we're not going to go in thinking, oh wow, we're as big as Walmart. Wow. Like that is not the mentality that you go in with. Or if you do, then that's a very hard thing to do, I would think. But we typically go into it thinking, oh, is this too much? Is this too little? And a lot of the time there is a lot of being uncertain about things. Because especially with the detailing industry, it's not necessarily like a product that you could put on a shelf in a Walmart. You can't, there's not a certain limit or really a way to judge your competition per se. There's not a huge market that you can go off of. You can really only go off your local area. So if there's other detailers in your area, that might make it a little bit easier. But when we get into it, it's really hard to figure out what exactly we should do, because you have to take into consideration the income of that whole local area. Like what is that natural household income that these neighbors and neighborhoods are all making. And then you also have to figure out how much labor you're putting into it if you want an hourly rate. Like there is really no good way to go about it. But we'll go further into that next week. Right now, we're going to talk about when you set these prices. So maybe this should have been the week after's video, but it's a bit late now. But so if you've set your prices and you think you're good with them, I just want to go over real quickly how we need to start giving ourselves more respect, and how you might not be giving yourself the respect that you deserve. Because I know that when I started, I was not holding myself accountable for things. I was not thinking about how much it really took a toll on my body or my time or anything like that. I really was, I just wanted to make the customer happy. I just wanted that person to come back. I just wanted to get good results. And those are all great things, obviously. Those are great things that we all want to strive for, of course. But if we lose ourselves in that and we don't think about us, if we don't think about our own health, the way we're running our business, then it's so easy to just go ahead and run it right into the ground. It's so much easier to just crash your business. And that's why most people, they'll start a detailing business and won't make it past a year. Like they'll start their detailing business and it'll just tank. And that's completely understandable when you're thinking of it in this aspect. But when it comes down to it, it really does affect the business as a whole if you aren't keeping yourself accountable with what you've set your prices at. For example, if a customer is trying to haggle you down on a price, if they're trying to, get you to come down from a number that you've set, sure, there might be some leniency. Like there might be a way to give them a little bit of wiggle room there. But more times than not, we should not do that. You're not going to go to Walmart, grab a can of SpaghettiOs and go, sorry, I don't know why that came to my head first. But yeah, you grab a can of SpaghettiOs, you don't go to the checkout aisle and ask the lady for a discount on it. You just don't. You don't try and haggle them on the price. It's a set price. And no, we're obviously not the equivalent to Walmart, but we need to have that same mindset. Because if we don't, like I said, then that's a lot of profit that we could be losing. That's a lot of money. If you do that with every single customer, if you're always giving a customer $5, $10 off, man, that adds up. If you give your next 30 customers $10 off every time, that's $300 you've just lost. Sure, that might be spread out, or that might be in a matter of days. That's $300. You know how many Reese cups you could buy with that? Or SpaghettiOs? So many. To be more serious, you know how much more products you could buy with that? How much more chemicals? How much more tools? I mean, how much branding? You could do so much more with that money if you would have just held yourself accountable, if you would have just respected yourself a little bit more and stayed at where you priced your services. And that's not to say to completely shut the customer down. You want to take in, if you have all your customers asking for this, then maybe you should lower it a bit. Maybe you put them just a little bit too high. But so take that into consideration. Take their input into consideration. But if it's just every now and then someone's just trying to haggle you, I mean, that's just because they're cheap. That's just because they're trying to get a good deal. And I mean, you can't blame them. You definitely can't blame them because they don't understand how much goes into it. It's so hard to understand how much goes into detailing unless you're a detailer yourself, because as the name implies, there's so many little details that you just don't think of unless you're trained to see them, unless you have that detailer's eye and you catch those things. Most of the time people think, oh yeah, just quick vacuum, quick little wash. No. Most of the time that's not what we're doing. It doesn't ever really get that simple. If we're vacuuming above the floor mat, below the floor mat. We're vacuuming under the seats, in all the seams, inside the seats. You know, it can get crazy. You can vacuum the dash if you're just dusting. You know, it can get so much more, no pun intended, detailed. It really does. There's so many nooks and crannies that no one thinks about. But to avoid dragging on too long and taking up too much of your time, because I know that you need to get out back in the world and everything and do whatever it is you need to be doing, I just wanted to talk about how, as detailers in this industry, that we really do need to respect ourselves more, especially if you're a beginner or you're just doing it as a side hustle. You know, it's a lot of time, money, energy, everything that you put into it, and you deserve to be paid for your services and for your skills. You've taken the time to learn all of these things, to practice all of these things. You deserve to be rewarded for it. You deserve, if you are giving a service, you need a trade in that. Preferably money, to grow your business and to grow yourselves, to grow your livelihoods, to grow your family, everything. And so I just think that this is really an issue that, if you haven't noticed already, I really hope that you do now, and that this has opened your eyes a little bit. Because like I've said before, if you have been here, if you haven't been here before, then welcome, hello. I'm really glad you're here, and I really hope this helps you. But like I've said before, I live in a very small town, and at the time of publishing this video, if I ever do blow up, I clearly haven't yet. I'm not at that stage. Would I like to be? Of course, but that takes work, just like with your own detailing business. But like I was saying, I do live in a small town, a very small town, and so that I've faced many struggles with growing this business. And I'm still facing struggles. They don't just go away. You have to work through them and to solve them. And I'm doing my best to do that. This is just an issue that I noticed now, looking back on the earlier days of starting my service. About a little over 2 years ago now. And I probably would have done so much better if I would have realized it sooner, and that's why I wanted to bring it to your all's attention, so you don't make the same mistakes that I did. And that's all these videos really are about, is just trying to give you a little insight into my experiences, so hopefully you can get on the faster track to grow yourself, to grow your business and everything. Because like I say at the end of all these videos, I want us to grow together. I want us to learn together, and I want us all to get on this path to succeed. So let me know if this has helped you. Let me know if there's anything similar that you've experienced, any problems that you want to bring to my attention that maybe I haven't covered that you want me to cover. Whatever it may be. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And that's that. See ya.